pissed me off. They left off his back of the ear and neck tattoos, his back of the shoulder tattoos. Obviously, I understand the Cobra Commander and Pepsi for copyright, but they were too lazy to even put in his thigh tattoos that stick above his knee pads. But on the freaking series that came out in 112, at the same time this release, they put all that shit on that figure.
I don't know when my other
Wow.
the Backlash Jey Uso Ultimate figure is supposed to be sometime in. It's supposed to be in sometime. I don't know when. It said late April, so.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the next Ultimates because I'm gonna start collecting the Ultimates for sure. I'm kind of done collecting the Elites because when they do the Elites, they take shortcuts, bro. The Ultimates, they actually freaking try. And I want to get the whole bloodline and the whole OG bloodline of the Ultimates.
I have
All right, you guys,
3
let's get
Ultimates.
started.
All right.
All right, you guys. The next match that I want to go over with you guys is the Cody Rhodes and the John Cena Night 2 main event. And man, John Cena did it. He got number 17. Poor Cody Rhodes, man. And poor us. Poor all of the poor of. God damn it. I'm still so devastated over this. Poor Cody crybabies like myself that we lost, man. Cody Rhodes, he got pinned with the help of Travis Scott, I must add. John Cena beat Cody at WrestleMania Night 2. I'm still heartbroken about this, guys. But I was hopeful. I had a feeling this was going to happen, but I was hopeful. And it all makes sense, you know. Now seeing things how they're playing out after the Raw, after Mania, and all that stuff. But overall, the match has been getting a lot of negativity from the IWC. But me being there, I'm a little biased because I was there, and it was a really great match. For whatever people want to say, and they want to hate on the match, saying that it was slow, that John Cena ruined wrestling. I really enjoyed this match overall, but I'm speaking from actually being there. But how was it for you guys? Blood, let's go with you first for this one. What did you think about the match, watching it from your point of view?
So I was live the entire time during Mania, as I said yesterday. I was live the entire weekend, almost 9 hours total. And Toxic and Tommy were with me throughout the live, as was BT. And in real time, man, I had no problem. And I said this on my videos afterwards when I was reviewing like the aftermath. And everybody unanimously, at least that I've talked to personally on TikTok and Instagram, no one had a problem that John won. The match, I personally enjoyed the match as it was actually taking place. I thought, okay, they're telling a story, slow burn. You know, John's being more methodical. He's not being that hyped up, peppy, hype the crowd movements. He's hitting the slow shoulder tackles, hitting the slow back body drop, doing the 5 knuckle shuffle, but super slow, not enthusiastic. He's not giving the fans the energy to feed off of on purpose. And they're eating it up and they're loving it, right? They're loving what he's doing that way because they like him as a heel, it turns out. Cody is doing his best to survive. The only gripe people have with the match was that they wanted more aggression out of John, and that Cody seemed to be way too kind to him in the ring for everything that he put him through. And for me, I agree with that sentiment. I enjoyed the majority of the match because I was understanding the story. I was understanding why John was wrestling the way he was. He was purposefully trying not to be exciting. He didn't want to give the fans anything. That's the character he's in right now. Travis Scott coming out ruined the match. And in the way of, look, no one had a problem if John won. In fact, I'd say everybody was unanimously okay with John winning. But if he won, we wanted him to win in a way that was going to be epic. I know it's hard to follow the main event of WrestleMania 40. The Avengers assembled. I understand that. It's a hard act to follow. But there is a difference between trying to overbook an ending finish to a match at Mania like last year in a way that's exciting and incredible and never done before versus hyping a story up like this one getting The Rock involved again, getting John something as massive as John Cena turning heel in the day of 20 or in the year of 2025 at Cody's expense, having him turn on Cody in front of everybody. You can't build all of that, right? And then you send Travis Scott out, which automatically tells the entire audience, oh, Travis Scott's the first person to come out and interfere. Maybe we're going to get Bad Bunny because Bad Bunny's friends with Cody because they set that up last year leading up to this. I think it was SummerSlam or one of those pay-per-views where they were sitting in a car together outside of the stadium, and that was their big promo where him and Cody were in a car, and like, oh, we know Bad Bunny's Cody's friend, so maybe one celebrity takes out another celebrity, right? Everybody's thinking maybe Kai Cenat, something like people we've seen recently, all these things they've set up, right? And then automatically you see Travis Scott, it makes you think The Rock because of what happened at Elimination Chamber. So your brain automatically goes, well, fuck, Travis Scott. So, okay, everybody's looking. Who's coming in next? Who's interfering? Are they coming from under the ring? Are they coming from the crowd? When's The Rock's music going to hit? And then it's okay to get Travis Scott involved if you're going to pay it off with The Rock, because you literally give the fans no choice but to believe The Rock follows Travis Scott because of the alliance from Elimination Chamber. So now not only have you inflated everybody's expectations because you've begun opening the door to their expectations, you then squander them because Cody should have got more of a receipt on Travis. Although I will say Travis sold the shit out of that Crossroads. But the missed timing on trying to go for a punch and then just a slow looking down, Cody taking too much time to get through this shit, and then leaving himself open for this awkward exchange with John where John goes to throw the title smack at him and he awkwardly slowly just stops the title, and John held his arm back before Cody stopped it. So now the timing's off. Now you've got Cody, who has every reason to crash the fuck out. And by the way, his dad would have fucking kicked John in the dick even as a babyface. Stone Cold as a babyface would have kicked him in the freaking dick. The Undertaker would have freaking choke slammed through the freaking mat as a babyface. So it's bullshit. Even John Cena, vintage, 2010s John Cena, would have made them pay. Are we forgetting that's the same John Cena, babyface Super Cena, who was so mad at Randy? When Randy was done, he handcuffed himself to Randy and beat that man all over the arena with no mercy. When Batista, as a babyface John Cena, Batista quit an I Quit match, he still attitude adjusted him off the car even though he already won the match. So you're telling me that because John can do that, what, Cody can't sit there and get his freaking comeuppance? Like, dude, Cody, you're completely vindicated. No one's gonna boo you here if you smack John to the title. In fact, he deserves it, bro. So that also pissed people off because now you made Cody look like an absolute moron. You made Cody look so weak. That's where people are getting pissed with this match. You made him look weak. And then the worst offense, take away The Rock's Twitter, or sorry, his Instagram. Because in the middle of the show, this man posts that he is in Maui driving around, still probably filming pickups for Moana, the live action, and basically just told everybody, yeah, I ain't coming out. I started the story. I interjected myself into another story again to reinvigorate my image because Hollywood hates me. And I, if you're going to put yourself in everybody's major stories, you better damn sight be there for the massive payoff. When you started the story, The Rock started this shit with Cody way back at the Monday Night Raw after Mania last year. Don't you ever break my heart again. Then shows up at the end of, what was it, Backlash or Survivor or Bad Blood? Went nowhere with that. Then shows up on the freaking on the Raw after Netflix, the Netflix Raw debut, to sit there and tell everybody, hey, me and Cody are friends, and he's breaking kayfabe. Then to come back a couple weeks later and say, nah, I was playing. So, Laura, I just want Cody's soul. I want this. You'll give me your answer at the Elimination Chamber.
God damn it. I lost you guys. What the fuck?
Hold on. Is the live still up, Snug?
Yeah, we're still up.
Okay, so I'll finish it and pass it on. The
Hold
worst
on.
offense, the
Hold
worst
on.
offense about all of this is that you would have the nerve to set up all these stories with you as one of the main characters in it. And then the one time we actually want you to show up and interject yourself and make it all about you, you can't be bothered to show up at WrestleMania of all times. And then you really smack the fans in the face by posting on Instagram that you definitely aren't there. Then don't involve yourself in anybody's stories if you can't get your movie schedule straight, bro. Because of The Rock, he single-handedly not showing up ruined the entire main event. And the worst part about everything else is everybody trying to act like this was always the plan. We've all seen the comments of fans trying to sit there and gaslight the rest of us who aren't ignorant by telling us, well, John Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling, so by not having The Rock come out, it feeds into what he's saying. He made sure The Rock didn't come out. It was supposed to be Travis Scott, so we'd be underwhelmed on purpose. It would ruin wrestling. No. Don't gaslight me into pretending like I don't know what bad booking is. Don't gaslight me into pretending that The Rock didn't fuck it up because his movie schedule got in the way and because he didn't prioritize the very company he just became in charge of. And don't gaslight me into saying it was John Cena's grand plan. John Cena isn't writing the show. Don't bullshit me. Don't gaslight me and insult my intelligence. Because I would have been really pissed if WWE had told John Cena to go out there on Raw and tell everybody that I told you I was going to ruin wrestling. I told you weren't going to get what you wanted. I told The Rock to stay home. If they had done that to try to save face, I'd have been furious. It's one thing for the stupid wrestling marks to try to insult our intelligence and gaslight us like that. But if the company had done that, I'd have lost some serious respect for Triple H for just not admitting that he booked it bad and The Rock's booking and travel schedule got in the way of the show, which is what actually happened. And that ruined the ending of Mania. That right there tells me one thing that should have happened, boys, and let me know if you agree on this. Jay and Gunther should have main evented night one, and the triple threat should have main evented night two, if this is how night two was gonna fucking end. Right or wrong? Can I get a yeet if I'm right? Exactly. Next person.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of too when I saw Travis Scott come out was definitely, oh, The Rock is gonna come. He's gonna come out, and yeah, I was. I mean, everyone was disappointed when he didn't show up, but it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, because I feel like if he would have showed up, what were people gonna say? Oh well, look at The Rock. He just shows up, at the main event and blah
No
blah blah
one would have been
blah.
mad, though. No one would have been mad because it fed the story from Elimination Chamber. If he's getting involved, it makes sense. The
The
problem is, if you can't get The Rock, don't have Travis come out at all. I'd rather be, happy that John won 17 and the match went off without a hitch and he cheated to win on his own. But the moment you put Travis out there, you made everybody think The Rock was next. And you got everybody's hopes up because it's the main event of Mania, right? Everybody's excited, hype. What could happen? Is The Undertaker coming again? Is Stone Cold coming out? Because he's in the building. You set these expectations because you let these fans get so excited by all the shit, the stories you set up for the payoff at WrestleMania, the end of the season. And then you fucked everybody up. You smacked everybody in the face. If The Rock can't come, just don't have Travis come at all.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. I'm like, the guy that came out to pretty much cause Cody Rhodes, the undisputed championship, the title that Cody Rhodes fought for, to get for a really long time, wasn't even like
A wrestler.
a legitimate guy. It was Travis
No,
Scott,
it's literally like when Jon Stewart turned on freaking John Cena all those years ago and hit him with the chair when he was versing Big. Does anybody remember that? When the talk show host Jon Stewart betrayed John Cena and cost him the match against the Authority. That's what this was. Someone who has
So
no business being in the story, costing the guy in the story, the actual wrestler, his victory. Why?
So what are we supposed to get now? Cody versus Travis? Like, come on now.
Apparently, Travis Scott's been training.
Well,
I don't know if anybody
that's why I'm
like.
starting to wonder. But hold on, Mr. Blood. Let's hear from someone else.
Please,
Let's go
sorry
from
about that, guys. I
BT.
had to get all that off my chest to a live audience.
That's all good, Mr. Blood. I for one have been pissed off about this match as much as you have been. But you mainly stole a lot of my points except for one. One, I wanted to see Travis get a black eye, even though he's black as shit, not being racist. But besides that, here's something that's crappy about the ending to that match. We have been building Cody Rhodes as somebody who is trying to show more aggression. And I've got two names for you. AJ Styles and fucking Kevin Owens. You're telling me that you could hit AJ Styles with the steel steps at Clash at the Castle after AJ Styles said he quits, but you can't hit Cena on the head with the belt to get the win. You can hit a crossroads on Kevin Owens onto the steel chair at Saturday night's main event as the referee is knocked out of the ring and get the win. But you can't hit Cena on the head with the belt. You could make Kevin Owens bleed at the Royal Rumble to get both the Winged Eagle title and the Undisputed title in a TLC match. But you can't hit John in the head with the fucking belt. And what's the reason that everybody's coming up with? Because Cena is Cody's childhood idol. Motherfucker, if I was hit on the head and kicked in the balls by Edge, I would crash the fuck out. I don't give a fuck about any of his acting abilities anymore. I don't care if he's standing in front of me with this menacing look. I would
Remember,
at least fuck.
TikTok language before you get too excited.
Bruh. I would at least make him at least bleed. At least. Like, I wouldn't just sit back to the sidelines and be like, oh my god, I know this is my childhood idol, but I'm a hero to the people. I'm a hero to the people. The people wanted to see blood! That's what the people want!
We can't say that. Can we?
Depending on the context, when I saw him getting excited, that's why I said easy.
Bruh.
Point is, you're not wrong. The people wanted to see color. That's the proper terminology. The people wanted to see color, and the people wanted to see that next level of ferocity that we've seen Cody do. The fact is, you're right. Cody proved in the last 5 months he can go just as hard as the heels can if you push him. He almost ended Kevin's career through a ladder, remember, at the Royal Rumble. So you're telling me that he could drop that man 8 feet out of the air through a ladder on the back of his neck, but smacking someone on the forehead with a piece of metal who literally used 3 guys to jump you in front of your friends, family, your daughter, God, and everybody? But that guy, you're...
Tommy, what are your thoughts on all this?
My thoughts are simple. To add on to what Blood was saying during his full point, why the hell are you literally going to put out a shirt and put it in the WWE shop itself that says, finally, The Rock has come back to Las Vegas if he's not even going to fucking be there? It literally says it on the shirt that he was going to be there, and all of a sudden he doesn't show up? No! That is not at all how that's supposed to go. If you're going to start a story, finish it. Be there for the ending. But of course, like even on his Instagram, he posted that during night one. Somebody commented on it saying, haha, nice try, we'll see you tomorrow. Because they actually thought it was fake and that it was filmed ahead of time. It wasn't. And I look at that and I'm like, why? You literally had Travis Scott go out there, which immediately made us think you specifically because of Elimination Chamber. And then all of a sudden, you're just not going to show up? You're just going to let Travis be there? It makes zero sense.
That proves to you that that there was a last minute change. The shirt was already made. They probably made hundreds of them.
They also had a bunch of other shirts for The Rock, not just that one.
Exactly, but the one for Vegas specifically, that proves they had every intention of him being there, and he probably did too. And then scheduling got in the way, and he couldn't fly back in time.
Does it though? I don't know if that proves. I don't know if that proves anything. I mean,
but then why spend? But that's hundreds of thousands. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars in merchandise and printing
that they made probably. But it goes back to what you say, Blood. I've heard you say this multiple times. Card subject to change, right?
Yeah, but there's a difference between card subject to change and look. We can't tell the story and end it the way we wanted to end the story. So instead of, they're not stupid. Triple H isn't stupid. He had to have known. And you're in a room full of intelligent writers. There is no way that you don't know, as a 30-year veteran in the game in Triple H, who's also a fan, as he made poignantly clear in his Hall of Fame speech ad nauseum for an hour, that you don't know as a fan, the moment you see a guy related to the guy that attacked the guy, that you're not going to go, Travis Scott equals The Rock. Because your last pay-per-view, you put them together as a freaking super alliance, and that's all we've known for the last month and a half. Why wouldn't we suspect that? If the fans automatically were to think that, you have to know that Triple H and the rest of them knew that would have been the first thought. So don't have Travis come out at all.
And instead of fully addressing it, on the Pat McAfee show earlier today, his response when asked the question, hey, why didn't you show up, was, oh, like the final boss had to take a step back. Then why have Travis Scott there?
Yeah, I heard some of the stuff that The Rock had to say, and he's pretty much like, it kind of felt like he was just like cleaning his hands, like kind of like the shit that Hogan does a little bit, like, hey, look, I just did this because the ticket sales were going down, and I was just doing them a favor, but now, you know, they don't need me, so now it's like...
But he can't be just doing them a favor. He's the legitimate shoot real life director of the board. You're doing yourself a favor too, but you're also hurting your own bottom line because you're pissing off your fan base.
Isn't that what he kind of sounded like though? Like he was just doing WWE
it sounded
a favor.
Like he was brushing it off. I mean, I show up whenever they need. You know, because he always acts like his presence is giving you charity.
Well, this turned into a rock bashing review, but let's hear from Toxic. We haven't heard from Toxic.
What he was doing at the Pat McAfee show basically it was basically exactly the same as when he came back on the Raw on Netflix, the debut, and he was breaking kayfabe, and he had to go to NXT and basically be like he was switching it in on us, and he was like, you can't be nice to Cody. He was criticizing us. So basically he's out here shitting on us again, basically being like, enjoy the ride The Rock is taking you on. Like, motherfucker, you're the one that's on the ride.
Yeah, literally, enjoy the ride I'm taking you on is literally just code for I'm figuring it out as I go. And, you know, I'll know when Triple H tells me what direction we're going in, and then I'm going to tell him what direction I want to go in. That's all just key for The Rock has no idea what ride he's taking you on until Triple H gives him ideas and then he pretends that he came up with it himself. He doesn't know. And you can't control his movie schedule. And the ride is, I come back when I want, you'll enjoy me when I'm there, and you're going to take it or leave it.
I thought everyone wanted John Cena to win.
Everybody was fine with it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
No one had a problem
and who
with Cena
won?
winning.
And who
The
won?
problem with Cena winning was the way that it ended for the win.
Did y'all not want Cena to win or not?
But what a wet fart for the end of Cody's freaking title reign, and what a wet fart for John Cena's victory. That was a soft finish. Are you going to tell me that finish
At the
for
end
John
of the
Cena's
day,
17th title was epic?
John Cena won the 17th title like everyone wanted to, and everyone is still bitching and complaining. But let's hear from Toxic. Let's hear from Toxic.
Was it good?
Let's hear from Toxic. I thought it was great, but let's hear from Toxic.
Why? Why make Cody lose it to Cena? Why make him lose it to Cena? Blood, I don't give a shit if he pulls a dictionary up or not. I am actually crashing out over this. Cena doesn't need this. Pick a reason other than he's retiring and he needs the 17th that he would have possibly win. Exactly. You could have made Cody lose it to literally anyone else. Hell, Backlash. Randy Orton it's in Randy's town. Put Cody and Randy. Make him lose it to Randy. I don't know. Make him lose it to Punk. Have Roman and Cody go back at it. There is literally a million other things that you could do. But no, you make him lose to fucking John Cena.
The truth is, John didn't have to beat Cody for 17. He could have beat anybody else who beat Cody. That's the problem here. It was all at Cody's expense.
But who else? Who else would, if it wasn't John Cena, the one to take down Cody Rhodes, and who?
Randy could have beat. Randy could have. That could have been the perfect story for Mania. Randy turns on Cody, mentor versus student at Mania. John Cena and him go at it for their final time at Backlash or SummerSlam or whatever, and John takes it off of him. Perfect.
We got a couple cool comments. Shout out to AJ. He said we could have had CM Punk win the World Heavyweight Championship, but TKO stopped that, LOL. And also, Heimer says Cody wanted a break. Who fucking knows, man? That all could be true, but
that's because there's some rumor going around that he's going away for a bit on vacation. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's not confirmed.
Yeah, what is confirmed is that John Cena is the new champion, and he wants to ruin wrestling, and he wants to take the belt and go home with it, and he wants all of us to suffer. And in a way, we're kind of giving him what he wants. Look at all y'all getting all worked up over this,
and
man.
If Randy has anything to do with it, he's not going home with it.
If who? Randy?
If Randy.
Oh man, that's another thing too.
After
like,
Monday?
Yeah, after Monday. But like, John Cena just won it. Is Randy Orton really going to take it from John Cena that quick?
You know how I feel about this, Snug?
How? For the people that are listening to this on audio, Mr. Blood just broke his John Cena doll in half. Now, I had some comments too to say about the match, in a video that I'll probably add the audio to this podcast because it was my right now I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm collected, but when it was happening in real time, I had some shit to say too.
You were lighting up our chat, by the way, for a minute, going to town on like 30 message bender of rage messages. Did you read the stuff you sent to the chat after he won? You were pissed.
Yeah.
You went on a rant.
Yeah, well, there's a video.
You went on a rant, bro.
There's a video about that too, but yeah, that was the main event of night 2. I mean, either way, even it wasn't the outcome that I wanted. It was still one hell of a ride. We didn't get The Rock. We got Travis Scott. But I mean, the people still popped really, really big for John Cena when he won the thing. No matter what people want to say, maybe the people at home weren't very happy with the match, and and the outcome, but I can guarantee everyone in that arena, over 60,000 people, popped big when John Cena pinned Cody Rhodes, regardless of how it happened or who came out or who didn't come out. It was the main event of night 2. People wanted to see John Cena win number 17, and he did. And the place exploded. Um, but, you know, everyone's
I
going
one of my
to.
rock figures.
Yeah. Well, now that we're all, you know, getting ourselves worked up and stuff, another thing that people were really, really upset about when it comes to WrestleMania was Randy Orton's mystery opponent, Randy Orton versus Joe Hendry. And another guy that got a really nice crowd reaction from the people in Las Vegas. And it was a quick match. It was a quick 3-minute match. Joe Hendry is the TNA champion. And no one thought it was going to be him. I mean, maybe there might have been a few rumors going around here and there, but, you know, people were saying, oh, it's going to be Rusev. Oh, it's going to be Aleister Black. But no, it was Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, he's been, you know, on NXT. I was really shocked about this, guys, but what was your reaction first when you guys saw that Joe Hendry showed up to face Randy Orton? Toxic, go ahead. Let's start with you.
Not expecting this shit. Excuse my language. I know we're supposed to be using TikTok language. But not expecting it whatsoever. If you were to tell me before I even knew it that Joe Hendry was gonna face Randy Orton at WrestleMania, I would think you're fucking crazy. Also, I hadn't thought, because Randy pinned the TNA world champion Joe Hendry, wouldn't that basically mean that he's the number one contender? Anyways, I wasn't expecting this. I popped big. Someone in that building probably said his name.
Number one contender for what, Toxic?
For Joe's title.
Randy?
Yeah, because he pinned the champion.
Right.
And if we're going off of logic of what Solo did at Money in the Bank and pinned Cody and got a title shot at SummerSlam, then that would basically you get when I'm
Yeah, I don't see Randy Orton doing that, but I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying. Besides you not like expecting this, what did you think about the match, and the way that it went? Because it was a really short match, and people had a lot of bad things to say about this match also. But did you think the way that Randy beat Joe Hendry was kind of like shitting on Joe Hendry, or what did you think about that?
no, I think it was perfect for Joe. This entire match was not only surprising for a lot of people, it was funny, it was amazing, and it was everything good that you can say about it. I loved this match. I
Yeah.
love this match.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really look at it that way either for me personally. I mean, the last time we saw Joe Hendry in the main roster in WWE was when he was playing Rusev's lawyer, if I'm not mistaken, which was back in 2015. What, Mr. Blunt?
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah, both Rumbles the last 2 years.
Okay. So, going back all the way to 2015, he gets a Royal Rumble appearance, and then he shows up to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I mean, how could people be mad at that? How can people be like, I don't know, oh, like, what do they want? Did they expect Joe Hendry to beat Randy Orton? No, I don't fucking think so. And, but yeah, let's go with you, Tommy. Let's go with you, Tommy. Thoughts on this match with Joe Hendry being the mystery opponent for Randy Orton, and how are you feeling about that?
Nobody was expecting it, and I absolutely loved that. And for the people saying Aleister Black, Aleister Black, Aleister Black, I could tell you right off the bat that it wasn't going to be Aleister Black because the date on the most recent preview for him says Friday. This Friday is when Aleister Black's going to come back. The date that was shown is this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely love it because of the fact that, like I said, he has shown up the last 2 Royal Rumbles and gotten eliminated from both for obvious reasons. But still, I absolutely love this match. It was a super fun match. We had a feeling it was going to be somebody. Nobody was expecting saying his name, and he appears.
Mm-hmm.
As I have seen a couple videos of people going, "Oh, it's Joe Hendry, it's Joe Hendry, it's Joe Hendry," and then his theme hits.
Yeah.
Which I found absolutely hilarious. Looks like we know who in the arena said his name.
BT, you're up.
I absolutely enjoyed this match. Seeing Joe Hendry get a WrestleMania moment, we were all hoping he would have a WWE appearance at some point. I thought it would have been really nice for him to at least have an appearance with LA Knight, 2 former TNA competitors. That would have been awesome. But what they did with him and Randy was fine. For the people bitching and complaining about it, there was nothing serious about this. Okay? This was just to celebrate Randy having his 20th appearance at WrestleMania. It is to celebrate the career of Randy Orton. There was nothing special that was supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to be a 5-star classic. I get that you are frustrated that he is the TNA World Champion and he basically got squashed. But it was something fun. And they had fun at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And the fucking turn into the RKO was cinema, bro. It was absolutely cinema. And of course, what Toxic's doing right now, the spin, watch it, the spin, and then the Randy Orton thing. That was absolutely brilliant. There was nothing serious about this that was supposed to be like, this is supposed to be a 5-star match. You know what I mean? And it's not going to destroy Joe Hendry, okay? I'm pretty sure Joe Hendry was fine with taking it and taking the RKO and doing what he had to do. He would be fine with it, okay? Like, it's to celebrate Randy Orton, for fuck's sake. Like, there's no deeper meaning to it, okay? So, fuck off with all the haters.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's like because nowadays in modern wrestling, I feel like we're used to seeing a certain type of match where it's always 50-50 no matter what, right? Even like when the guys and the girls have like mixed matches, even they have really competitive matches, right? So I think people are just like trained to see everyone get their shit in, everyone, is going move after move with no matter who it is. It could be that, or it could also be, and I completely lost my train of thought. But I mean, Mr. Blood, I'm gonna get to you in a bit, but if someone, if they tell you, it doesn't matter who it is, hey, you're gonna face Randy Orton at WrestleMania, you think they're gonna be like, okay, well, who's gonna go over, or how is this gonna go? Like, no, I'm pretty sure Joe Hendry was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I'll do anything. You want me to lose to Randy Orton in an RKO in less than 3 minutes? Fuck yeah, I'm down. What the fuck?
One of my favorite moments was the tease at the end, where he goes around and just points at him every which way. Joe almost makes it out, and then he just turns him around and gives them one final RKO. I absolutely love that moment.
Yeah, and then it's not. This didn't make Joe Hendry look bad at all. Joe Hendry showed up on NXT earlier tonight. I'm pretty sure he still got a great crowd reaction. I'm pretty sure he got a way bigger pop than ever before. Holy shit, he was just at WrestleMania, and now he's here on NXT. What the fuck, like. This did not hurt Joe Hendry at all whatsoever. Getting beaten by Randy Orton in under 3 minutes, if anything, is going to do him a whole lot of favors. It didn't make him look bad. It didn't hurt him. It didn't, people are just so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Blood.
I agree and disagree with you. I think that
What happened? You sound like shit.
My phone died, so I'm on my iPad now. Can you still hear me?
Barely, but yeah, go ahead. Start over. Sorry.
Who's going to go other than me? Who hasn't gone?
We're all done. We're just waiting for you.
Okay, if you give me 45 seconds, I can switch back over to my phone. I think it's charged now.
Yeah, Blood. It's super fucking muffled like it was on the live.
Okay.
All right, well, yeah, we're gonna wait on Mr. Blood so he can give us our thoughts and his thoughts on this thing with Joe Hendry that took place at WrestleMania. I want to give a quick shout out to Heimer Rice, Ray Stitch, Roma. I can't pronounce that name, but you know who you are. Jody21 and the Real Marks. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're getting a little bit late on our reviews because I was in Vegas and I just got back and we did Monday Night Raw last night. We reviewed that, which is out now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you missed it, please go check that out and leave a star rating and leave a review. So yeah, we're just now getting in our WrestleMania thoughts, our reviews, and what we thought about it. And what do we got after this? We're gonna talk about the 4-way elimination match, which should be cool.
And they'll have the triple threat as well.
What triple threat? Oh, the Seth one. We haven't talked about that, huh?
No, we haven't yet.
Okay, so we got those two matches still coming up that we're gonna go over here really quickly as soon as Mr. Blood comes back. Heimer, thank you for the follow. You are awesome. Thank you guys for all the likes so far.
Can you see and hear Blood?
Oh, is he ready? Let me see. Go ahead, Mr. Blood.
I've been back for like a minute and a half.
Oh, my bad. I had to add you back on.
Okay. So I agreed and disagree with you. I thought it was a very fun match because obviously Joe Hendry is fun and Randy at this stage of his career is a fucking riot half the time. I think it's good for spotlighting Hendry. I just think it's a bad move to. I don't think it looks good to TNA when you go, hey, we want to have a working relationship so we can help your company build up and be strong, and we can be strong because we'll mix our talent pools. And then we go, give us your world champion so he can eat a pin in less than 3 minutes to one of the guys in our company that isn't even currently a champion. And we're going to have you lose in a way that makes you look comical, goofy, and not at all serious as our world champion. So I don't think it makes Joe look bad because Joe's character is goofy, fun, and endearing. I think it makes the title look bad. Because if you were going to have anybody show up and wrestle Randy from TNA, that's fine. It could be anybody. You could have fucking stuck Jeff Hardy out there. That would have been an insane pop. But I don't think having your world champion go out there and eat a pin the way he ate that pin in 3 minutes was a good look for the TNA World Championship. I think that it should have been a bit more of a competitive match, like fucking maybe 10, 12 minutes, and Joe puts up a really good fight. End of the day, it's Randy Orton. You're not on his level, but you are still on the level to have taken him to his limit. I think it should have been a match that took Randy to his limit for 10 minutes. Because here's the thing I think. Before Kevin got injured, there was going to be a certain allotted amount of time for Randy. So for that match, so whatever allotted time you were going to give to Kevin and Randy, why couldn't you give to Joe Hendry and Randy? why only give him 3 minutes if you were going to give Randy and Kevin probably at least 15? I feel like it just would have served the TNA World Championship better, and Joe Hendry's ability to a WWE audience on a main roster show like WrestleMania even better if you would let him go a full like 12 to 15 minutes with Randy on the Mania card when you know you were going to give Kevin and him upwards of 15 to 20. And even if Joe still loses, fine, but he loses going out on his Shield in a knockdown, drag out banger with Randy would have been awesome, because they've had Joe on NXT and they had Joe go on NXT for like 12, 15, 16 minutes just a year ago. So why on earth can't he do the same thing with Randy when he's the world champion of your partner company's freaking brand? That's all I'm saying. It was still a fun match, but he could have gone longer when you know that you were going to give Randy and Kevin longer anyway. So why 3 minutes? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, man. I mean, this just reminds me when Randy Orton faced Javon Evans recently on NXT. Well, not recently, but like last time Randy Orton was on NXT. They did have a competitive match, Javon Evans and Randy Orton. Javon Evans took Randy Orton. The match went a little way longer, and but Javon Evans, he's a WWE guy. He's potentially going to be in the main roster at one point. But here goes.
They're going to present their own guys better, and that goes to what Wrestle Talk.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, because if we're a partnership, we're supposed to lift each other up equally, or at least somewhat equally, not take your world champion and make him fodder in 3 minutes when we've had guys like James Ellsworth go along with Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles.
This is how I look at it. And it's not the same, and people are going to talk shit about me or whatever, because I know it's not the same comparison, but this just reminds me, since we're talking about partnerships, me personally, when I go over to my homies with the Heel Shit podcast on Tuesday, they have a huge fucking show. Like, they get millions of downloads. Like, I want to be as big as them one day. I want this show to be as big as them. I'm lucky enough to be on their show every Tuesday. They're helping me out. That's the partnership that I have with them. But when I go to their show, I don't take over their show, or I don't try to be, show my ass out there and be like, oh yeah, I'm so great. No, I respect their show, and right. There's limits. There's limits to this.
But is that podcast having you on as a guest and going, hey, Snud, you talk when we tell you to talk, and you only get 30 seconds to talk when we tell you to talk?
No, but if they did, I would say, yeah, okay.
Okay, but
I'm cool with that.
Time, you'll be cool with it, right? But everybody else watching is going to go, well, damn, man, I was really wanted to hear Snug talk a little longer. I really like what he has to say. Why are they shutting him up as quick as possible? You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, if you want to see more of me, if you want to hear more of me, come check me out on my show.
And that's great. But you know what? Ollie Davis said it the best today on one of his WrestleMania reviews on Wrestle Talk today. Wrestle Talk, large following, very large vocal wrestling journalism company. He said, what self-respecting company would let their world champion go out there to job out to another company's non-world champion?
It's Randy fucking Orton. Jesus Christ.
It's Randy Orton, yes, but Joe is younger, hungrier, and currently a world champion in a promotion. Randy is not any of those things. So it's just like, dude, you could have sent anybody else out there. You didn't have to feed the world champion to the guy that was going to beat him in 3 minutes. It makes your company look weak. It makes your roster look weak because he represents your roster. That's the problem. It was a fun match, great for Joe. I think he deserved to go longer before getting pinned. If he gets pinned, totally fine. Randy should have won the whole time. But Joe deserved to go longer. That's all I'm saying. You could have given him 12 minutes. You were going to give Kevin and Randy that amount of time anyway. So why not just keep the time, even if you're switching out the opponent?
I think I think TNA and Joe Hendry both are very, very lucky to even get those 3 minutes, because those 3 minutes, I think, helped them a whole lot.
I think you're right in that aspect. I'm just saying, if you're my partner and I'm trying to build you up, I'm going to make sure that I shine a spotlight on you too. a little bit more than I did. That's all I'm saying.
Shine the spotlight. WrestleMania versus Randy fucking Orton. What? There. I mean, that's a spotlight. Jesus Christ, is it not?
But
They
let's
could
be
have
honest.
not. They could have not fucking put anyone from TNA. Would that
Yes,
been?
and
Would that been better?
that's very, very true. But if I'm trying to have a working relationship with you, and I want you to know that I take your company just as seriously because I look at you as a viable partner that I respect. I'm not going to have your guy essentially glorified job out to one of my guys. I'm going to make it competitive so we both look good equally. That's what I'm saying.
All right. The next match that we're gonna go over here for our WrestleMania review. Let's go to the triple threat match with Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns because I mean we knew that that was going to be one of the options, which was what we saw: Paul Heyman joining forces with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins winning the thing. That was one of the options that we discussed that we went over, but I didn't think it was actually going to happen. I thought I was hoping for CM Punk to win it because it was his first WrestleMania. I was hoping Roman Reigns was going to win it because Paul Heyman is going to turn on CM Punk, but Paul Heyman ended up turning on both Roman and CM Punk and sided with Seth Rollins, giving Seth Rollins the win at the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. I was still really shocked, even though I know I should not been. I know I should have seen this coming, but goddamn, this was fucking crazy, you guys. Tommy, let's go with you first this time, man. What were your thoughts on this main event?
Cinema. Full blown cinema. Especially with the way it happened. Like, we all knew that that was a possibility that Heyman could betray both of them and side with Seth. That was one of the things that, yes, Blood, you fucking called it before all of us. But that was one of the things that the majority of us really said during our predictions with it. It is that Paul would side with Seth, since Seth was literally the only non-Heyman guy there. It was just Seth. He was the only one that hadn't been a Paul Heyman guy. But the way it happened was full-blown cinema. Him slowly walking over to the timekeeper area, slowly grabbing the chair, pushing it in, then betraying Punk first, handing Roman the chair. Seth starts slowly standing up, like, look, there he is, my tribal chief. The shield. There it is. It is yours, my tribal chief. And then the shocker happens, where not one low blow happens, like it did with Punk, but two. Two with Roman. Holy shit. You know I'm shocked when I throw my title to the side. As soon as that second low blow happened, I was just sitting there on the couch and I just tossed my title to the side because I was that shocked. It was cinema. The way it happened, it was gorgeous. I love this match through and through, beginning to end. I'm pretty sure we can all agree, match of the fucking weekend. Day and night.
Easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Toxic, you're up, Toxic.
Once again, I'm gonna reiterate what Thomas said. Match of the fucking weekend. that it was full of not only straight up violence towards each other, because it's obvious why. Anyways, but it was filled with story. The match wasn't just good because, oh, they got Punk was the first person to get put through the reinforced announce table. Oh, and Seth Rollins was the second. No, it was there was all story. It was all story in that match. I mean, without CM Punk basically creating the Shield or Paul Heyman, this match wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist. Seth wouldn't have hit Roman in the bag and joined the Authority. It would have never existed. So let's just thank CM Punk that this match even exists. But fuck CM Punk at the same time because he lost. I'm kidding. I wasn't gonna. You know what I meant. All right, I'm out of here.
Right on. Blood, let's go with you, Blood. What'd you think?
Man, wow. After when you take in the whole weekend, right, start to finish, you cannot help but sit there and go, this fucking match should have main evented. Like night 2. It after we got what we got, with the only way, when I look back now, the only reason Cody and John should have main evented night 2 was if The Rock was involved and it was, another overbooked finish like last year, but in the cool, crazy, fun, what's going to happen next way. That's the only thing. When you look back at the whole match itself, from start to finish of the match of Cody and John, you can't help but feel like, man, this really feels like a night 1 main event when you look back at it. And it's especially the way it all played out. It's like, dude, there was like the energy level of the crowd alone was bigger for the main event night 1. And it's hard to sit there when you look at it now in hindsight and go, nah, Cody John made sense for night 2's main event. Nah, bro. I honestly, Jay Gunther should have main evented night 1. And as unfair as this is going to sound, Cody John could have gone second to last on night 2. Really could have. And the triple threat could have main evented, because this was the most story going into it. We're talking 13 years of story from start to freaking finish. Like every nook, every cranny, every twist, every turn, every betrayal, every stab in the back, everything. Because people forget that Punk was a baby face when the Shield got put together, quote unquote, behind his back by Paul Heyman in the original story. People forget Punk was the baby face at the time when Heyman formed the Shield and hired them to be to protect CM Punk behind CM Punk's back. We only find out later that no, CM Punk actually knew the whole time and only pretended to not be aware of it, and then he turned heel slowly in the process. So, it's funny because start to finish, this match was just so good. I mean, everything from every move mattered, man. Every move, every reversal fed into something else that happened. Every finisher, every freaking, I mean, the sequence with the GTS hits him into the ropes, freaking out of nowhere, speared. Out of the spear comes a stomp. They all go down out of exhaustion. Like every finish made sense. Paul Heyman's perfect selling, because we all knew this was going to be match of the weekend. We all said that in our predictions, that we felt like this had to be the match of the weekend. We kind of felt it, right? Because it had the most story going in, and we all said that. And I said forever ago, it's already been established, even though at this point I'm establishing it for the joke and at Snug's expense, that I called this whole thing, the whole finish, I called it literally a month ago. But at the same time, I say that looking at it now going, no matter how much you call it, it doesn't do it justice until you actually see it happening in front of you and you see the emotion happening in front of you and the selling and the storytelling, and you see the pain on Roman's face, the betrayal on his face, the betrayal on Punk's face, and you hear Heyman screaming at Punk, I didn't want to do this. You made me do this. I didn't betray you. You betrayed me by putting me in the middle. You made me choose. You're supposed to be my best friend. Like when he screams that, I'm like, he's right though. Punk and Roman put him in the middle. They forced him to choose, right? And Seth didn't. And that's the thing. You know, aside from the funniest part where Paul Heyman freaking low blows Roman, I mean, that man treated Roman's nuts like a peppercorn grinder. He went up and just the fist wiggle and the grinding back and forth to just let it seep in. And I'm just like, dude, this is not freaking London. This is not bangers and mash. He's had enough. I know he's already got 5 kids, but what if he wanted one more? Let him go. And then just the look on Paul's face where he's like, yeah, I'm in there. I'm in that shit. Yeah. And Roman's just like, please stop. But I thought the best camera angle of the entire match, what really, really spoke, because I filmed my live reaction. And I was like, okay, well, Seth has his back turned. Does Seth know what's going on? And then I freaked the fuck out on my live reaction when you see the camera pan down and you see Seth's hand out for the chair. And that in that moment, I screamed, Seth turned heel. It's official. He's turned heel. It was perfect. It set everything up in this perfect way. Perfect match. What a way that you could have sent the fans home had this been the main event of night 2. It should have been the main event because it had every angle was better. There's not a single part of John versus Cody that outshines this triple threat. Not a single moment outshines this triple threat. This was the match to end on. If WrestleMania was still the old classic Sunday night only, I'd have petitioned the hell out of this to go on last.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was one hell of a fucking match for sure, dude. One of my favorites of the night, most definitely, man. Um, I think this is probably the match that I want to go back and watch on TV because I was there in person, but I was way up there. So, I was doing my best to see what was happening, and I was still able to see pretty good. But I want to see what it actually looks like on TV, just to see.
Because you're seeing it on the Tron, right? Hovering above the arena.
Yeah, I was watching it, and then on the Tron and watching it, but like it's not the same because you don't get the commentary. You don't
Right.
you
It
don't
really
hear
puts
what
it
they're
over
saying to
itself.
each other. Yeah,
I
it's
highly recommend you go back and watch it on TV to see what we all experienced. Because I think because the commentary really puts that match to a whole nother gear at times. Like the commentary in that match was insanely good.
yeah, that always makes things better, But all right, so who do we got next? BT.
Yep. Bruh, this was without a doubt the match of the weekend. Cinema, absolutely incredible. And the thing that really got me the most, that got me emotional a bit, was I finally got to hear the song This Fire Burns while CM Punk was doing his Titantron promo package before his entrance. I love that song so much. I listen to it repeatedly. I love that song, and I I almost cried. I almost cried. I was screaming, "Please let me hear that song one more time." And I got to hear it for that split second, and I was singing word for word that song, bro, because I I love that song so much, and we got to hear that before we got Drew McIntyre's Broken Dreams song to come back. So, but overall, the feelings going into this match, because Roman is without his wise man. Seth Rollins is basically the manipulator, the joker in this whole thing, playing mind games with both superstars. But CM Punk is with his best friend, and in the main event of WrestleMania, which was the one thing that he always wanted before he ended his wrestling career. And it was just perfect. The storytelling, the aggression. Seth and Roman teased that they were going to team up to put Punk through the table, and then Roman uppercutted the shit out of Seth just to put Seth and Punk through both announce tables. I thought it was awesome. And then the low blow from Paul Heyman onto Punk and his crying and his emotion. I said from day one on this podcast that Paul Heyman is one of the greatest actors when it comes to general managers. And this just fully emphasizes it more. And his emotion selling. And then he says, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. And then Roman hits Punk with the chair. And then, as Tommy said, when he looks to Seth, look, the Shield. Yeah, brilliant. All right.
My bad, y'all. What the? I don't know what's going on today.
Still live, Snud?
Yeah, we're still live.
All right, take it back from look, the Shield.
Yep. Look, the Shield. This is your moment, my tribal chief. Roman is legit standing there with that steel chair saying, this is for all of those moments that you did to me, all of those paybacks that I have been wanting. Like, WrestleMania 40 wasn't enough. I need to hit you with this and then pin you because I have never beaten you in my entire career. And then Paul Heyman low blows the shit out of him, and he stayed there for quite some time. I'm like, brother, how desperate have you wanted this, bro? Like, the twitching and the grimacing look, like, motherfucker, you are proud of yourself, Jesus. And then Pat McAfee, Paul Heyman, you son of a bitch! I loved every single second of it. And then, of course, Seth just standing there doing the Roman Reigns hand signature. Just give me the chair. And then Paul Heyman just like, of course. And then just sits in the corner like, yep, look at you son of a bitches now. It was amazing. And Seth fully deserved to win it. And after what we got on Monday Night Raw not that long ago, it was perfect. This match, I never got the chance to witness Cody Rhodes winning the title live last year. This is my first WrestleMania I got to witness live since WrestleMania 37. And weird enough, I have very fond memory of WrestleMania 37. The main things I remember from it is the two main events. But this WrestleMania, I'm going to remember forever because of that main event. And I was so happy that I got to witness it live. Like, bro, oh my God. This main event was just perfect. 10 out of 10. Match of the fucking weekend. Cinema. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it probably was the best match of the night, for sure. But what did you think? I think we still have Toxic, right?
No, Toxic went right after me.
All right, so then we're good for this match then.
I mean, one of the things I wanted to mention is the fact that that wasn't the only callback to the Shield. Seth was trying to get Roman to do that Shield powerbomb again, onto CM Punk through the table.
Yeah,
It
that's
looked
right.
like Roman was going to do it, but then the look on his eyes said, fuck no. You're going through it instead.
By the way, this is 2 Manias in a row where Roman needing to get a chair shot vindication cost him the match. 2 Manias in a row.
Yeah, because it cost him the title last year.
Yeah, and then tonight he took his eyes off of Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman got him, made him pay for it. Every time he wants to get payback on Seth, every single time it costs him. It cost him when they versed each other at that Rumble a couple years ago, where he got DQ'd from going to town. Pardon me. It cost him when he was going to town on Seth, and Seth beat him by disqualification. It cost him here because he just had to do it. All he had to do was just tell Paul to get out of the way. He could have speared Seth or whatever, pinned him, or thrown him out of the ring, pinned Punk. Nope, cost him last year because he got the vindication, but immediately got into a crossroads Trinity after that. It's like, Roman, at some point, you have got to let it go if you are going to beat Seth. You have to let it go if you're going to beat Seth. Because he has never beaten him one-on-one in their entire careers together. If you are ever going to get your real vindication, because let's not forget, the entirety of their relationship, no matter what, if Roman was the heel or not, Seth was always the bad guy in their relationship. He is the bad guy in their relationship. And people forget that just because he's a face, that he isn't the bad guy between the two of them, because it was his fault. He did it. And then he's rubbed it in Roman's face ever since. Roman needs vindication, but he has got to let it go if he's ever going to beat this man. And I hope that's where the story that just popped off starting Monday is heading, with Roman and CM Punk teaming together against this new building alliance. But Roman's never going to win if he doesn't stop letting Seth live rent-free in his head.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, we have so much to look forward to when it comes to this whole thing with Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, especially after what we saw at Monday Night Raw. They added Braun Breaker, so it's an exciting time, you guys. But the final match that we're going to go over here tonight is the Fatal 4-Way. Speaking of Braun Breaker lost the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania to Dominic Mysterio. I did not expect Dominic Mysterio to win singles gold in the main roster anytime soon, but he did. Dominic Mysterio is the new Intercontinental Champion, and man, I don't know how I feel about this, man. I'm glad, I'm happy. I'm a huge fan of Dom, but I don't know if it was the right time. I don't know if it was the right time.
I think you're the only one of us who said Finn should win. I think all of us said it should be Dom.
Yeah, because I just don't feel like Dom is ready. Dom has been losing to everyone left and right, and now he goes from, being the job guy. I'm sorry, I hate using that word, but he is.
But that point I tried to make to you last week when we were debating it. I said the whole point of having him win it is that it shouldn't be him. He stole the victory. So that's what's going to stick in Finn's craw. It should have been Finn.
So now Dominic Mysterio went from that to being Intercontinental Champion, and he got a huge crowd reaction. The people were really happy about this. But now what, you guys? Now what? But let's talk about the match first. Let's go first with you, Blood, with this one. How do you feel about Dominic Mysterio being champion, and do you think this was the right move?
I think it was the absolute right move. First off, the match was incredible. I mean, there's not a single person in that match that isn't a great worker. And I don't care what anybody says about Dominic Mysterio. He plays his role perfectly every time. And Dom, if you go all the way back to when he started tagging with Ray, hell, before he started tagging with Ray, if you go back to when he still had a little extra chub on him and he was getting thrown around the ring like a rag doll by Brock Lesnar, you go from there to then tagging with his dad when he was still greener baby and turtle shit mixed together, and Ray was really carrying. It's night and day. Dom has come so far, man. I mean, probably the most natural heel of this era without even having to try. Okay. He's also he's gotten so good in the ring. He's fun to watch. He's fun to watch wrestle. I love watching him wrestle. I love his laid back, don't give a shit attitude because it feels so natural to him. He legitimately does feel like a cool dude that you would want to chill with. Like this laid back, whatever, man. I don't care. It's cool. Whatever. Like he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's naturally lackadaisical in a way that makes you like him, but also hate him. Because we all know guys like that who are just too cool for school, and you're like, okay, whatever. But everything about him, from his presentation to the in-ring ability to his believability as a heel, just makes him such a star, right? And the match was awesome. There's not a bad performance in there. There's not a bad wrestler that was in that match. Come on, Braun Breaker, probably one of the biggest stars of the next 10 years, guaranteed. Finn Balor, one of the greatest, most underappreciated professional wrestlers of his generation. Penta, one of the greatest, most popular acts today, and one of the greatest luchadors on the planet and in history, in my opinion. And Dominic Mysterio, second generation or third generation superstar, who happens to be one of the most natural, just able-bodied wrestlers of his generation, who we never would have thought could go as far as he has. And he's just incredible. He was the right choice, mainly not only because he's paid his dues on the roster. 2 years ago, he was the guy who had wrestled more matches than anybody else in the entire company in that entire year through multiple injuries. They talked about it on the Impulsive podcast, and other wrestlers who got interviewed by Chris Van Fleet talk about just how dedicated Dom is. So right then and there, we know he takes it seriously. He cares about this shit. Therefore, he gets my respect. But two, if you're trying to talk about the dissension of the Judgment Day in a story that I think is probably the most interesting breakup they've ever had, because they've had like three by now, 3 or 4. No, he is a third generation because Rey Mysterio, his dad, is actually junior. A lot of people don't remember that Rey Mysterio's father was the original Rey Mysterio. But so when it comes to Dom, he makes the most sense because when you're talking about the blow up of the Judgment Day, this is the first time where the infighting, other than Damian and Finn, feels more realistic because in the Judgment Day's canon, Dom is the loser, but he's the cool loser. He's the only one that needs help to win all of his matches, right? He's the only one who can't do shit without Liv, without Carlito, without Finn, without JD. He's the fuck up, but he's only ever successful with their help. And Finn knows that because it's been brought up in their stories before. Having Dom win is the perfect way to have Finn absolutely lose his shit. We saw on Monday that he was staring Dom down, and then he goes, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And then all of a sudden, he's going to let it go, right? Until Carlito straight up says, hey, I mean, looks like you and I are the only ones without championships in the Judgment Day. Who would have known? But it's cool. But as soon as he said that, Finn automatically went, and he realized, oh, I can't let this go. And it's eating at him. Now it's just a ticking time bomb to when he betrays Finn, or when he betrays Dom. And now that JD's back, is he going to get JD to help him? Or all of them going to come together to kick out Finn? Because you don't got to turn Dom babyface. You can let him keep lying, cheating, and stealing. The crowd loves him right now for it. He doesn't have to go babyface for them to keep loving him. But Finn's got to turn on him, so Finn gets the major heel heat. Just a matter of when.
Yeah, the people are 100% behind Dominic Mysterio right now, man. They love their Dom. It's gonna be interesting to see. Like, are they still gonna boo him whenever he tries to cut a promo, or are they gonna cheer him now because he's getting a lot of good crowd reaction now?
Well, remember, we're in the age where heels are what everybody wants. Everybody wants that cool heel. That's why I said yesterday, um, no one's gonna boo Becky. That's the problem. We've been down this road before. The fans are tired of the white meat babyface. They want the cool heel, the anti-hero, the tweener, because they're more interesting characters than the I'm a good guy who smiles all the time. Because we had that for 12 years with John Cena and no one wants it anymore. And that's why the fans are turning on Cody, because they want him to go more edgy, more aggressive, and he won't do it. And that's why they're turning on him. That's why people love and cheered Seth for what he did. The cool heel. That's why people love Punk. He's not just a white meat babyface. He's edgy. He gets his hands dirty. You know,
Toxic. What do you
that's
think
the
about
age we're
this,
in.
Toxic?
That's the age we're in, man.
About the match.
Yeah, the match in general and Dominic Mysterio becoming Intercontinental Champ. Are you not paying attention, motherfucker?
I mean, I was, but Blood just went on a rant, so.
Go. Oh, god damn it. Go ahead, Toxic. You go on your rant now.
Put that freaking dictionary down. All right. Anyways, the match was great. It was, in my opinion, you might not agree. It was match of the night on night 2. It mopped John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Mopped the tag. Actually, not really the women's tag match. Well, kinda. It mopped Rhea, Bianca, and Io. It mopped literally everything on the card of night 2. To Braun Breaker getting on top of one of the tables, jumping over, spearing Carlito through the table. That, damn. I mean, but we were expecting that, but we weren't expecting how it happened. That's why I like Fatal 4-Ways and multi-man matches, because they end up being really freaking good. There was something that I was gonna add, but I don't even remember it.
All right, well, we'll come back to you if you remember. Go ahead, Tommy.
Correction, Toxic. Y'all didn't see it. I called it. Yes, I'm pulling a blood real quick.
Yeah, calm down, Blood.
Called it. I knew if there was any way to inevitably get to that point where the Judgment Day is going to end up splitting, because it will happen. It should have happened during the original thing over at SummerSlam. Honestly, that's when it should have happened. But still, I knew if there was any way to finally break up the Judgment Day, it's going to end up being for Dom to get that Intercontinental Championship by pinning Balor. And I called it spot for spot at the end of that. When it comes to the match itself, I loved it. I truly did. No, not just because of the fact that I called the ending, but I absolutely loved the entirety of that match. I really, really did. Because it fit. Like Blood said, there is not a single bad wrestler in that match. There really wasn't. You're talking about one of the biggest right now luchadors in the entirety of WWE, Penta. As Liv loves to put it right now, the greatest Mysterio of all time. That's Liv's wording, not mine.
Correction, Dom calls himself that.
No, Liv has as of recently as well.
Well, Still, same thing.
The point still stands. You've got Braun Breaker, who, in itself, he is a beast in every way. The man's a Steiner. He's got that Steiner DNA in him. He's built different. He truly is. He's a massive beast in that ring. And I love the callback to the Steiner math. That was fun. And then you've got Balor. The one man that, yes, it was agreed that as long as the Intercontinental Championship was in the Judgment Day, everything would be fine. But as Blood said, all that flipped as soon as Carlito brought it up. That him and Balor are the two members, the only two members with nothing, with no gold around their waist. And then he thought back to how Dom got that title, and that immediately pissed him off. When those two inevitably have a match, because they will, it's going to be a good one, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. BT, do you got any thoughts on this Fatal 4-Way? Your new Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I wanted Dominic Mysterio to win even before I came onto this podcast and said that I wanted Dominic Mysterio to win. I've been calling it since I went on a TikTok live with some of my other friends, Mad Honeybee, Raven Club, fucking Heel Mike. Shout out to those guys, absolutely amazing friends of mine. I legit told them that I wanted Dominic Mysterio to win, and they're like, and there was one of our friends named Tyler, who is a Dominic Mysterio glazer, and because he's very toxic as one of those fans, he was like, if Tyler was here right now, he'd be kissing your ass so hard, and I'm like, mother. It's the truth, though. Dominic Mysterio needed to win. No matter how many times you want to make fun of Dominic Mysterio walking out there and couldn't get the lucha mask off the top of his fucking head, he needed to win that match. He needed to win that match. And it made sense. And I'm actually happy for Dominic Mysterio, somebody who I hated and could not stand in 2024, is somebody who I can back and who I really support in 2025, which is crazy. Not to say that it won't happen for Liv, because I just don't like her character, not the person. But the point still stands. Dominic, it has always been that big heel in WWE, and to see how far he's come, I know that Rey Mysterio says that he hates his son, but I know he was sitting back there proud as hell. His cheeks would have been sore from how much he was smiling, and honestly, I couldn't stop smiling either. I was so happy for him when he was on the ramp and he said, "Fuck this, I'm going back down there to celebrate." He felt like a kid achieving his dream, and I was so happy for him. So
awesome.
It's funny,
I love the match overall.
It's funny because they showed fan footage. The cameraman made him go back down because he was getting work from the back. The cameraman's like sitting there like, you gotta go back to the ring and celebrate. You gotta go back to the ring and celebrate. But I as happy as I am for Dom, man, I'm so upset that Ray got injured on Friday. But I'd like to imagine that because they were already in Vegas, he just went to like a local hospital to get looked at, local medical facility. And I'm hoping that he still stayed for the weekend for his son's big moment. Because there was a part of me later that literally daydreamed, like, I really hope that Dom got to walk back there and his dad is the first one in Gorilla, away from the cameras where we can't see. And they just had a really poignant father-son moment. I really, really genuinely, as just a human being, imagine and daydream and hope that happened for them, because that's his first ever main card title win. And I know, shoot, fuck the kayfabe, that has got to be a very proud moment for Ray. And what a sweet family moment that I would imagine for Dom to get to hug his dad and like, Dad, this is my first one, you know? So, I mean, I'm so happy for him, genuinely. He deserves it. He's worked his ass off for it. So I wish him the best in this run, and I'm like, really excited for what's coming after this.
And he has now joined the exclusive club. Not many have done this. Of only a group of father-son duos who have won that Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right, Mr. Blood, but I mean, let's be honest. Rey Mysterio has a track record of being a terrible father, so I don't think that happened. No, I'm just kidding. Well, you guys, with that being said, that was the WrestleMania review. Sorry, we're a little bit late, but I just came back. So we're putting it out now. And we went over just the important matches, because even then we went over like, what, 4 or 5 matches. And this show is going to have to be a 2-parter. But yeah, we went over the most important things that you needed to know for WrestleMania, the most important matches, storylines, the winners, the outcomes. Until next time, I'm tired of shit, y'all. Thank you, Mr. Blood. Thank you, BT. Thank you, Toxic and Tommy. No yeet. My name is Edgar. I'm the host of Snug Wrestling, and we will see you guys soon.
4 letters.
Nope.